Alright, welcome back to Art of War 3. I'm your host, John Cena, and today we're going to be doing a 2v2 battle. We're going to be going with a random player. I'm the blue player, my ally is going to be green. Let's get into it. We're going to get some scouting in here, grab those containers. We're going to be playing against two resistance players. The red resistance player killed my scout there, so don't have a good scout on the red player yet. My ally was able to get into the yellow player's base, so we can see what the yellow player is up to. Looks like yellow player's got 3 barracks, 3 supply centers, 2 power plants, assault vehicle factory. Pretty good deployment early game setup. Yellow player just snuck a couple riflemen onto my plateau there. And we can see here I've got a naval shipyard down, and that is so I can grab some of those early naval containers. Also to scout the water to see if the enemy is going to be possibly doing a naval build for this map. Another rifleman from the red player. We're going to go ahead and clean that up. So I see that there's something on the bridge. I send my 3 assaults. We're going to go check out the bridge real quick while I'm making some deltas to get some scouting in. And we spot a rifleman. The rifleman's going to be able to get away though, unfortunately. So I'm going to pull my my assault back. Here's my first delta. Going to grab a naval container. Got another delta queued up. And we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of scouting in while we continue our base development. Here we go, another container. Resources in the early game are important. Here we go. Looks like red player's got a Cayman out, so red's probably got some kind of naval presence as well. I did not stop to kill that Cayman because I have another delta in the back. That delta is going to be used to clean up the Cayman. And there's my second delta, and it's cleaned up that Cayman. My partner is encountering a Cayman on their side as well. So the deltas are amphibious, which is nice, so I can just hop onto this beach here. And I'm going to roll up onto the plateau here. This is going to be my first good scout of the red player's base. And we can see that red player has just finished going HQ3, and they're dropping an avia factory down, which means I'm anticipating some hawks are going to come in. So my ally right now, 4 supply centers, they're upgrading their HQ. I am dropping down at my own avia factory and a special vehicle factory. So my plan is that I'm going to drop down an airfield, and I'm also going to start production of Typhoons so I can get some anti-air on the ground as well. Meanwhile, continuing to build my infrastructure, starting to queue up my first Typhoon. And we got a Vertex on the way. I'm going to drop a torpedo platform as well. It's going to provide a little bit of anti-air, also going to provide some scouting denial from the ocean. Looks like my ally is going for 7 supply centers, maybe 8. That looks like I think that's an 8th supply center going down. So interesting. I think it's a little excessive to go 8 supply centers. Okay, so my ally is upgrading the war factory, assault vehicle factory. Just destroyed his other barracks. And we're going to send our Vertex over. This is my first Vertex. We're going to get a nice scout on the red player. Red's got a hawk out. We're going to scout the yellow player. Yellow player also has 2 hawks coming out and is also HQ3. So both red and yellow are HQ3. So these players know what they're doing. Okay, so red player's coming in to hit my airfield. And initially, I thought that this was just going to be a light scout, a hit and run. But then yellow and red come back in, and they come to hit my avia factory again. That's when I realized they're actually trying to take down my avia factory. So red player's hawk goes down. I am going to scramble my Vertex here. So now we've got a little air battle going over my base. Yellow's trying to finish off my avia factory. Looks like Yellow's going to lose a hawk. Yellow's going to lose 2 hawks. So they've spent 3 hawks so far trying to take down my avia factory. Avia factory finally goes down. But in my opinion, that was not a worthy trade in terms of resources. That's 900 resources to less than 600 resources. So, in my opinion, not worth it. I'm not too concerned. I'm actually going to go for HQ4. And the HQ4 build is to allow me to go for a mass ground army. So, my plan here is I'm going to go with 2 assault vehicle factories for Zeus production. I'm going to do 1 special vehicle factory for Typhoons and 1 special vehicle factory for Torrents. Alright, so it looks like my ally is still building infrastructure. Okay, here we go. We got some more action coming in. We got 4 Hawks coming in. I throw on an air raid boost. So here we go. They're trying to take out my torpedo platform. Looks like a couple Hawks have gone down. And it looks like another Hawk's taking hits. And that is a lot of Hawks down. That is 5 Hawks. If you're counting, that was 5 Hawks. 1,500 resources worth to take down 1 torpedo platform. That, to me, the math is not worth it. They should have retreated. And what is happening here? What is this? My ally has 10 supply centers. Okay, so public service announcement for Gold League. I would say you would need maybe 5 to 7 supply centers. Anything past that and the resources spent is not worth it because you get diminishing returns. I have no idea why my allies built that. Anyways, we'll get back to my base here. I'm upgrading my barracks here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some fire assaults out. I'm anticipating that at least one of these players is going to go HQ4. And there might be some chameleons, I'm not sure. I'm going to send a Vertex to scout. Looks like Red's got a defensive line set up. I'm actually surprised to see here, Red is still HQ3. Vertex is coming over, yellow base. My Vertex goes down. I see that yellow is HQ4, but red is still HQ3. HQ3 with a defensive line. So I have the tech advantage on red, and my ally is just building infrastructure. So let's go ahead and start building our army. We got fire assaults, Zeus, Corn coming out, and we're gonna get some Typhoons as well. My plan is to max out my command points, and then once we max out the command points, we're going to go ahead and storm Red's base. I flagged the rifleman earlier from Scout, got cleaned up by my ally. Okay, here we go. We got about 5, 6 Typhoons. Here we go. I was going to try to do a surprise attack, which is why all my units are on observation mode. Clearly that didn't work. My entire army has been found by the red player. Red player was smart enough to put some scouts out in advance. So here comes yellow. Yellow's sending in 4 Hawks. We're throwing an air raid boost. Waiting to see if the yellow player makes a return flight to come back. Looks like they're not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my Torrents a little bit closer, get them some better positioning. As I'm doing that, the red players are coming in now with their army. Here we go. Red's got Jaguars, Grenadiers, and Riflemen. I've got Fire Assaults, Zeus, and Torrents, and look at the engagement going. Yellow sending in Hawks to help out. And Red's ground army has been completely demolished. So Red's sending in Hawks as well. It's 6 Typhoons versus 7 and 8 Hawks. I'm taking some heavy losses here, but so are the resistance players. My Zeus, though, are just chewing through the defensive line. And looks like Red's first defensive line is down. And I send over my Vertex to help out a little bit. My Vertex is actually going to go down, so no more Vertex for me right now unless I rebuild my Avia factory. I don't have any more of my Torrents. All my Torrents have been destroyed. I just have Zeus, so we're going to see if we can punch through here with these Zeus. So I need to get my Zeus onto the plateau so I get some better vision of what Red's got lined up, and Red does not have any units to stop these Zeus. Assault vehicle factory goes down. No more Jaguars for Red. Recommendation tip for your production vehicle factories: you want to put them in the back of your base. Put them in the back of your base. That's going to help you to defend when you're under attack like this. If you lose your factories up in the front and you just have infrastructure, it just becomes a slow, painful death. Here we go. We got about 6 Zeus left, but the Red player does not have any units whatsoever except for that one Dragonfly. That Dragonfly is not going to be enough. Dragonfly gets cleaned up. So now I am just pouring on the rounds onto the headquarters. And there we go. Red's HQ goes down. Here comes Yellow though. Yellow's got a handful of Grenadiers and a Porcupine. That is not going to be enough to stop 6 Zeus. Here we go. I'm going to deploy my 5 Typhoons. Looks like there's another Hawk from Yellow. That Hawk's going to get cleaned up nicely though. So here's my ally moving in. Looks like they found a rifleman in the trees. Another Hawk from the Yellow player. That Hawk gets cleaned up. So I think at this point, Red's base is just about going to be demolished. I'm just cleaning up the power plants and the supply centers. So I'm anticipating Red's probably sitting on a lot of resources that they're not able to use because they don't have any production in the headquarters down. There we go. Power plant is down. Other power plant down. The Red player is completely out of power. And there we go. That is pretty much good game for the Red player. And I tell my ally contracts. So we're going to just work on contracts to get some extra resources and in-game currency. It's pretty much a 1v2 at this point. Yellow just lost their airfield. And it looks like my allies decided to use some Thors. Green's maneuvering a small army outside of Yellow's perimeter. Just gonna kill off this torpedo platform here with my 1 Delta. So at this point, I'm actually not gonna move my ground army yet onto the plateau with Yellow. The Yellow player is actually already surrendered at this point, so we're just doing contracts. You can see I have an insane amount of power plants. And I asked my partner if they're ready because I finished all my contracts and my partner's ready. I'm just going to go and conquer the base. Green's fire assaults finding a lone infantry. And here we go. I'm going to send my full HQ4 army. We got Torrents, fire assaults, a lot of Zeus, and some Typhoons. And we're just going to steamroll this base to clean up the base. Alright, that's pretty much good game at this point. Yellow already surrendered, Red's also surrendered. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoyed the tips. Video, and good luck with your battles. We'll see you on the next one.